When mobile gaming comes to mind, what do you think of? Angry Birds? No? Maybe something more modern like Clash Royale? Or not? I wouldn't be surprised if the first name you associate with mobile gaming is Voodoo. They've been making waves the past few years, earning 7 billion downloads and paving the way for an entire new genre, the hyper-casual mobile game. You would have seen their work before, whether it's because you've played one of them or you use TikTok a lot, they're just everywhere. This isn't because the games are good. Voodoo leans into the idea of quantity over quality, being both a developer and a publisher. They release tons of games, way more than most other mobile game companies, with most of them being outsourced to other developers. Now, I'm not here to talk about Voodoo's questionable ethics, but you can't argue that it has been successful. Even with all the criticism and resentment they get, the general mobile gamers love this type of stuff. Maybe they know something we don't. I've played a couple of Voodoo games before. They weren't good, but I might have just picked the bad ones. So let's give Voodoo a fair shot, why don't we? We'll see if they're overhated by playing every single Voodoo mobile game. This is going to be a long one. Yeah, so this wasn't a good idea. Judging what was a Voodoo game took a very, very long time. They don't just have a list of titles on their website, and neither does the wiki, and any third-party site gives completely random numbers. Some saying over 2,000, which is just wrong. Others 100, others even less. Voodoo's a publisher mostly, but they have developed some games as well. So of course those titles count, that's obvious. I'm also going to count any game where Voodoo is listed as the primary publisher. So like when you go onto the Play Store and you sort by publisher, it's everything that comes up under Voodoo. All of those games count as well. I also use this list of the most downloaded Voodoo games of 2024 to fill in the gaps for stuff I missed, leaving me with a total of 107 games. I am sorry to lie to you, this isn't every single game. Voodoo's a big fan of just deleting games from existence. So many titles are just unable to download on the newest version of Android, or they've just been erased from the Play Store completely. So I'm not going to go out my way to try and find those. Voodoo doesn't value them as games, so why should I? But I literally went and downloaded every single game that Voodoo was named as publisher from the Play Store. So I hope you can accept that I did try my best with this, and this was the closest I could get to every single game. I'm going in alphabetical order here, and oh yeah, I'm going to be ranking them all in a tier list, just for fun I guess. And at the end we'll know what the confirmed best Voodoo game is, according to me. And with that being said, let's get into the first game. We might actually be starting off on a good note here. Aqua Park IO is one of Voodoo's most successful games, having a combined billion downloads overall, even releasing on the Nintendo Switch. It's kind of the perfect example of the hyper-casual genre they've created. It's a single gameplay loop. You literally do one thing the entire game, and sadly, that one thing isn't very fun. You just fling your guy down this water slide that has no obstacles, literally nothing challenging about it. It's a race to the end, where its intended difficulty is who can get there first, but it's against computers which are just pretending to be real people. Voodoo does this a lot. They try and trick the players into thinking it's online multiplayer, but it's not. Don't be fooled. You can take shortcuts by jumping off the slide to lower levels or just directly into the end, so what is the point? But the computers don't do this, like at all, so you can just kind of skip straight to the finish, completely defeating the point of an IO game like this. It's just not a competition. They'll never come close to beating you, unless you somehow miss the slide like I did. Voodoo goes for this art style a lot, using free assets in their games with very minimal detail so they can just pump these out as quickly as possible. It leads to a very messy experience, with it using real people for the player icons, generative AI for the environment previews. I don't know, man, it's fine, I guess. I'll probably come to appreciate it a lot more as time goes on, but if this is their most downloaded game, I can only imagine what's going to come next. It's going to go in C tier. I wouldn't play it again, but you could probably do a lot worse with Voodoo. Now, I am tempted to knock it down a lot for this. You have to be connected to the internet to play. This is something I haven't mentioned, but Voodoo games have a lot of ads. You probably know that already. So going into each game, I had airplane mode on, but Voodoo's got wise to this, and most of them force you to be online, even if they have no online features, and this is one of those games. Most of their money comes from ads, so it makes sense, but I seem to get an ad at the end of every single level, which is great because each ad lasted longer than the gameplay itself. But if I was going to mark each game down for ads, they'd all be an F tier and it'd be pretty boring. So this tier list, it really doesn't matter, but it's going to be in kind of like Voodoo standards for games. I'm also going to be stretching all of this gameplay, so you'd have to stare at these banner ads the entire time. Pretty much every game is going to have one, so I'm going to save you the trouble of staring at like a gambling ad the entire video. It's not a great start from Voodoo. Maybe the next one will be better. Archery Clash has a weirdly high quality loading screen. That's the thing with Voodoo games. With them being the publisher, you never know how much influence they've had with the development process. They could have just, okay. Yeah, I see what this game's going for. Archery Clash is a lot like that 2D archery game, Bowmasters, I think, except like really ugly and with a lot more ass. You just take turns shooting at the other guy. There's a lot of games like this, but Archery Clash forgets the main mechanic that makes games like this kind of strategic. Usually they have changing wind, so you have to like adjust your shot after each turn, but this game doesn't. There's no wind at all, so you can just shoot in the same place every single turn and always hit them. Voodoo loves to oversimplify their games. To be fair, I was still terrible at this, even with it holding my hand. I shot her in the same leg every single turn. I kind of feel bad. And then I also got the same ad twice in a row, which was nice. It's got loot boxes and very, very expensive in-app purchases. I wonder why. I don't really have much to say about the gameplay. It's just this over and over again, but it does have some nice variety. You can unlock different weapons and gear to make yourself stronger, but the core gameplay itself is very weak, and with a lot of ads, you can't even play it offline. It just doesn't let you. I'm not really sure what the point of this game is. There's tons of games like this that are way better. I guess it's just Voodoo throwing the hat in the ring. It's an eater. Bagfight is an interesting one. It's not something I thought would come from Voodoo. I never knew they made this kind of style of game, and that's a good thing. Bagfight is a combination of an auto battler and a merge puzzle game. Each turn you get a set of random items, which you can place into your bag, and then the little guy at the top will fight using the stuff you put in the bag. All the items do different things. You can start with a sword that he throws for some reason. That's not how you use a sword. But you can get bombs, healing potions, a glove that drops money, and your guy will automatically use all of these items that you have in the bag. So your strength is only limited by the amount of space. It's kind of like a puzzle game. You have to try and fit all the different shaped stuff into the bag. Like the axe was strong, but it took up 3 slots, like an L shape, whereas the sword only takes up 2 vertical slots. It's an interesting formula, really. It adds quite a lot of depth, and I don't have many complaints for Bagfight. It's a solid mobile game. I played it for about 10 minutes, and I didn't even get a single ad, which is incredible for a mobile game. I can see the gameplay getting kind of stale. It is an auto battler, and they have little interaction, so it can get boring. And I'm not massively into puzzle games, and that's kind of the only like gameplay mechanic. So for me, it's not something I'm going to come back to. But for what I played, it was a decent game. A-tier. Alright, this is actually one of the few Voodoo games I've played before, Ball Blast. It's pretty old actually, releasing in 2018. For a mobile game, that is ancient, but it's stuck around all this time, so Voodoo must have seen some value in it, considering they like to axe most of their games after like a year or so. I'm pretty sure this one even had a console release as well. This is exactly what you think of when Voodoo games are mentioned. A basic gameplay loop, very boring visuals, and a ton of ads. The holy trinity. You move the cannon, which automatically shoots, and you break the rocks. That's it. You just don't want to get hit by them. It's okay. Voodoo games typically have a lot of shop offers that just make the game way easier. In this, you can buy an extra cannon for $5. Who's doing that? It lets you shoot twice as much, and that's the whole game, so you're kind of just making the game twice as easy, so I don't know why you would buy this. There was also a handful of different types of cannons you could buy and upgrades for them, but it's very, very bare bones. If you play a few minutes of this, you basically play the entire game. Honestly, the most interesting part was this ad that popped up, and hey, I don't actually mind banner ads that much. They don't take up much room, and they're at the bottom of the screen, so they don't really distract you. But how am I supposed to play a game when there's just an ad about paying my taxes in the middle of the screen? I didn't even know they showed ads like this. It's literally in the gameplay. Nobody old enough to pay taxes is playing Voodoo games, except me. You could also pay $7 to remove ads. That is really expensive. A lot of mobile games will do a thing where if you make any kind of in-app purchase, it removes ads for the entire game. The most notable one I remember is, I think PvZ2 did this. You can make like a 99-cent purchase and then it will just not show you any ads. I think that was the best way to play the game. But in Voodoo games, it's always a separate purchase and it's always really overpriced. I'm kind of just talking about ads because the gameplay has nothing to it. You just shoot these rocks. It can get challenging, and there was this cool bonus level where it's like a big snake. But that being said, it's not great. It's not bad either. It's just really boring. C-tier. We've got another ball game. This is Ball Mayhem. Creative name, guys. This game fucking sucks. What can you expect from American football anyway? In case you couldn't tell, I'm not American, so I have no knowledge or any kind of bias towards American football. That being said, even if I did, it wouldn't save this game. The visuals are terrible. There's art style, and then there's just being lazy. Look at the audience. They're just like 2 different colored rectangles. You take the ball to the other side in a 3v3 format. So half the time, the computers on my team just played the game for me. This does kind of seem like a game that should be online, but then also the mechanics wouldn't work. You can just slam into the same guy over and over again and they can't do anything. I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but at least with some Voodoo games, they have a single gameplay loop that works. But this is just American football. You run to the other side, that's it. It doesn't have any other content, just play and shop. It's just so empty and bare bones. It really feels more like an amateur game dev project than a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't know what the deal with this one is. Voodoo games are very bare bones, but this one's a different story. I can't see why it would be rushed, but also, like, why wasn't it finished? It's gotta go in E-tier, one of the worst yet. I don't know if alphabetical was the best way to go, because now we've got a third ball game in a row. They're quite different though, so it doesn't really matter. Ballup knife racing reminds me a lot of that knife hit game. It's kind of similar, but just a lot worse. You throw knives at the levels of this tower while avoiding the ball. It's not a bad idea, but it doesn't add anything. Voodoo's good at creating a base for the game. I'm pretty sure they come up with like 4,000 prototypes a year, so they should be. But they really struggle to go any further than that. Like, this mechanic is fine, it has potential to be good, but from the 10 minutes or so I played, nothing changed. It would be so easy for them to just add a timer, so you had to do it fast. Else, you can just take as long as you want, making the gameplay completely trivial. It completely removes all challenge, and each level just extends the tower length, but that doesn't make it harder, it just makes it longer. So you end up just playing the same thing over and over again, but each time longer than the last. Like, imagine if you booted up like Mario, and after beating the first level, you move on to the next, and it's just the first level again, but twice in a row, then 3 times, then 4 times, you get the idea. They just don't understand progression. It makes it hard to play for just a few minutes. You can't even put the banner ads in frame. Another classic Voodoo mechanic is the bonus level at the end, which takes longer to beat than the normal level. Great. It's D-tier. This is the first of many puzzle games we're going to be looking at. Block Jam 3D is, well, a puzzle game, no shit. You tap these little guys to make 3 in a row and clear the board. If you fill up the space down here, you lose. It's simple, but in a good way, actually. I'm not a fan of puzzle games, as I said. I find them incredibly boring, but I can see some, like, middle-aged women loving this. The problem I have with most mobile puzzle games is they just take so long to become interesting. I understand you don't want to overwhelm the player, so you slowly introduce different mechanics as they progress, but it makes those early levels a slog to get through. There's no challenge, there's no complexity, there's like one mechanic, which is pretty important for a puzzle game, and I'm sure this is one of those. It probably gets better later on, but I'm only playing enough to give each game a fair chance. I don't have the time to see the full potential of each of these, and it just really didn't do much for me. It was alright. It had some nice shop offers, you could say. Also a leaderboard where someone had completed 68,462 levels. Does he have nothing better to do? C-tier. I used to really like this game. I played it like 5 years ago on my shitty iPhone 6. It's called Bomber, but it's kind of unplayable now. I think Voodoo has gone back over time and implemented this feature into a lot of old games, but you can't play without Wi-Fi, and there's too many ads. It's really unplayable. I went into every game expecting ads, but I was getting an ad every 30 seconds or so, and for an idle game like this, where you're just meant to like slowly chip away at it, it's impossible to get engaged. They just come up randomly as well. Since there's no levels or anything, I got one after beating the first planet, which kind of makes sense, and then I just started getting them randomly. The gameplay itself is charming. You can direct these rockets that automatically come in, and the aim is to destroy the planet core. If you break that inner circle, you move on to the next, and you can buy upgrades and such. It's the classic Voodoo shit. I can praise the visuals on this one. It looks nice, the colors are nice. I still don't know why the currency is the smiling emoji. That's weird, but nonetheless, it's alright. It's just completely unplayable in the state it's in. Unless you pay for no ads, which who's actually going to do that? You just can't progress. There's too many ads. Half the footage I recorded for this game is just ads. It also takes way too long to unlock stuff. If you really want to progress, it's just going to be this gameplay for hours, with hours of ads as well. Unfortunately, I don't like to do this, but it's going to have to go in F tier. It's crazy how the first F is for a game that I actually had high hopes for. I was excited to go back to this one. It's tragic, really. Bottle Jam's a lot like that other puzzle game I played. You just click the boxes to put bottles in them, and then if you run out of space, you lose. Yeah, this one's just nothing. I ended up clicking all of the boxes in order for every level, and didn't lose a single time. There's pretty much no puzzle, which kind of defeats the point of a puzzle game. There's no wrong answer. The game does have some good presentation. It looks nice, it sounds nice, but it doesn't play well. It also costs $8.99 for no ads. That is a ridiculous price to remove ads. I don't know why Voodoo games are so expensive, but I'm guessing that's about how much they would make showing you ads. Even after just playing for like 5 minutes, I was shown repeat levels, like levels that were basically identical. This is worse than Block Jam 3D, and there's very little to say about it. Some parts of this video are probably going to be quite short. Like when I'm covering my 50th puzzle game, what do you expect me to say? There's not enough substance in the game, and this is one of those. It's neater. It's a very literal name with this one, Bounce and Collect. I'm going to ask you something. Out of the 3 minutes of video that I have playing for this game, yes, only 3 minutes, guess how much of it is just ads? Go on, guess. 2 minutes of the 3 I spent recording this game was watching ads. Forced ads as well, I couldn't skip them. I'm trying to give all these games a fair shot, but I just can't stomach this. It's not even a game, it's just a big ad farm. For the minute I did play, it was bad. What a surprise. You pour balls from a cup down a tower, that's it. Even the ads were more interesting than the gameplay. I even got an ad in the middle of a level. The name really doesn't even make sense. You're not even bouncing, just collecting. Should be called add and collect. A hard F tier. I love a good tower defense game. They're kind of the perfect fit for mobile. Simple to make, easy to run and control on any device. And there's a lot of them, with some of the most successful mobile games being tower defense. The titles that come to mind are Plants vs Zombies and Bloons. I made videos on both of those, so go check them out. And this game is great. It doesn't really feel like something Voodoo made or even published. This is way above their quality level. Bounce defense is a mix of tower defense and puzzle. You have a board at the bottom, which continuously bounces a ball around it from the same spot. So you build your towers around the ball, and instead of them shooting constantly, like in a tower defense game, they shoot whenever the ball hits the trigger on them. It adds a lot of strategy to the game. You need to try and fit as many as you can within this path so the ball hits them. You can use corner pieces to change its direction, or you can even merge your towers. It's a seriously good mechanic. I'm a really big fan of this one. And then there's the art style. It looks kind of basic, but it's in a good way. It looks really clean. It's super simple, super nice. There seems to be a decent amount of content in this one as well. And even better, I didn't get shown a single ad after playing for 10 minutes. That is a huge achievement for Voodoo. Being said, I'm probably never going to play it again. Not because I didn't like it. I'm just not a mobile guy. But if you are, I recommend giving it a chance. It's going to go in S tier. Bring us back down to earth. We've got another puzzle game called Bubble Blaster. It's like a multiplication type game. You drop a ball with the same number and they combine. Not good. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's not as if I have a ton of complaints, but there aren't any praises I can give it either. You just drop bubbles. They couldn't even bother to make a background. It's just blurry. The budget for this one must have been atrocious. I refuse to believe that all Voodoo games are given the same budget, and I don't get how they would allocate them. Like, this game isn't good, but why would it get such a low budget compared to like Aqua Park IO? They both have about the same amount of potential, so why was this one not even given a chance to succeed? E tier. There's going to be a lot of these puzzle games, so I'm just going to speed through them. I'm sorry if you wanted to hear more about Bubble Fall 3D. If this is your favorite game of all time, let me know in the comments. But there really isn't anything to say. You shoot balls at other balls. I did get a lot of gambling ads on this one, so that's something. It also had an energy system, which is kind of weird in a puzzle game, right? That can't just be me. Just seems kind of counterintuitive. What's the point of a puzzle game where you can't make mistakes or try different things? Like, imagine if you were making a jigsaw puzzle, and every time you put a piece in the wrong place, some guy came and just destroyed the entire puzzle. I love stopping my players from playing the game too much. What a fun mechanic. I love mobile games. You know what? This one goes in D tier just for the gambling ads. Bubble Tower 3D. Can they not think of any different names? It's the same as the last game, but now it's a tower. Wow. Voodoo must have just forgot they made this exact same game before. I can't see Bubble Fall 3D being such a huge success that they decided to do it again, but in a tower. It is better than the last two, not by much, but it's better. The tower mechanic lets you rotate the board so you can shoot anywhere, but it's very obvious where the game wants you to shoot. You don't have much of a choice in the shots you make, as usually there's just a clear best one. A big line that will knock down a ton of balls. It kind of limits the gameplay from a puzzle game to a point and click. Maybe I'm just too good at these Bubble Voodoo games after playing 3 in a row, but this one was just mindless. D tier.
Greetings, ladies and gents. DANERADE here. You may have seen me from my giant analysis and journalistic deep dive into the Plants vs. Zombies series. And if you know me not from that, what video did you watch? Calvinistic Doctrine in Gaming? Tiki Man has graciously asked me to cover Outdo.io, an absolute classic in the lineage of Voodoo titles. This game falls into a lot of other mobile game slop of smaller thing becoming bigger thing and eliminating others, hence the .io name. The main idea is that you collect bricks to build your towers, and those towers shoot your opponents down. That's it. Just like most Voodoo games, you can summarize the gameplay in a single sentence, and my god is it bare bones. Every level has the same structure, and the only thing that changes is the level layout and how many players you'll go against. It's not terrible to play. Collecting resources and building towers faster than your opponents is fun. Still, there are just some classic Voodoo game design choices that are just a joy. Enemy towers can shoot through any tower, which was quite annoying to find out the first time, since it's not very, fair. And then ads. Of course the game is littered with them, but ads will play mid-match. What? You thought ads after finishing a level was bad. How about completely interrupting the gameplay? The game also acts like it's finding human players. If there are ads mid-game, you're definitely playing against just AI. There are some other aspects. Shop for cosmetics. On the main menu, you can build up this castle. That's it. There's no contributing reason why you can just make the main menu look slightly cooler. This game isn't the worst. The gameplay is adequate enough. 5 out of 10. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the better Voodoo games. Back to you, Tiki Man.
It's really weird how some of these games let you play them in airplane mode and others don't. It's never a good sign though when it makes you connect to the internet. It just means the gamer has a lot of ads it wants to show you. Bucket Crusher kind of reminds me of a Roblox game in the way it feels. You control this big drill to break the wall down and each brick gives you money. And there's nothing more to it. You knock down this wall, you upgrade the drill, and then you can knock down more wall. I'm only, 10 games in and it's getting so old already. I'm really starting to regret this idea. I might have to bring some people in to help me. Bucket Crusher is very mediocre. The drill controls like shit, which is kind of the only part of the game. What a lot of mobile games will do is when you click on the screen, it creates a virtual joystick, and then it's locked into that position until you stop pressing the screen. This way you can create a joystick wherever you want for convenience and ease of control. But in this game, the fuck-ass joystick moves when you move the stick. So when you try and move the drill, it moves the joystick around as well. So you have to keep recentering it, and oh my god, this really pissed me off. I think this, combined with the mundane gameplay, really annoyed me, and I don't know why. My notes for this game just says shit game, so I imagine that means F tier. How could you not get the single control in your game right? I don't get it. Buildup is like a light version of those physics-based bridge games, you know the ones. Except instead of trying to cross a gap, you go straight up to reach the little guy at the top. This is going to be a common issue with all Voodoo games, but the difficulty is really easy. Mobile games want to be accessible to everyone, that's how they succeed. So for the most part, they're very, very easy. And for a physics-based game like this, the fun comes from trial and error. Seeing things collapse and fail is half the fun. You want to lose, but in Buildup, you just don't. Even when I tried to lose and made the thinnest, flimsiest bridge possible, it didn't fall. A lot of games like this will involve stress testing your builds by having vehicles cross them or people cross them. I thought this was going to be the same with your guy crossing the bridge affecting it, but he doesn't for some reason, so it's just insanely boring and simple. It could have been a good game. It was a good idea for a mobile game. I think a physics-based game like this could do really well, but they just didn't think about it enough. It's got to be E tier. Lots of E tiers so far. My tier list is going S to F to give us a lot of room, as it is over 100 games, but I expect to see most of them in the lower half of the ranking here, especially E tier. We're finally into a different genre that Voodoo likes to tackle. Bullet Rush is a top-down shooter game, which I weirdly enjoyed. It's incredibly simple, with the enemies just being nothing more than these little red beans, but it works with the gameplay. Having hundreds of these guys on screen at a time wouldn't work if they were a detailed model. Your game needs to run on low-end phones and still be clear what's an enemy and what's friendly. Hey, I'm just happy this one let me play with airplane mode on. It was a nice change not having to look at ads the entire time. My standards have really lowered. The gameplay is just about shooting all the red guys without getting hit. Your guy shoots on his own and you just need to move him around. But after enough time, you can release this big shockwave to kill everything near you. It's a simple formula, but just having this one extra mechanic adds a ton of depth. There's different weapons that appear on levels as well. You start with this standard pistol, but you can pick up a flamethrower sometimes. It does have limited ammo, so you can swap between them when you need it. It just adds a tiny bit of variety that a mobile game needs. It's still not hard or anything, but it's engaging, and more importantly, it's fun. There's boss levels, and the environments look alright, pretty basic, but they're okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a good mobile game. It's gonna go in A tier. It's not enough for it to be an S. I'm saving that for the best of the best Voodoo mobile games, but for the 10 minutes or so I played, I had a good time. Well done, Voodoo. That's 3 good games so far out of 17. Better than I expected. This feels much more like a browser game. Canon it really does not look like Voodoo had much involvement in it. It's funny how a lot of these games will do a massive fuck off white box at the bottom, exactly where the banner ad should be. I played on airplane mode, so it's just this white strip near the bottom. It makes it feel so cheap. This is basically that one Mario Party minigame where you shoot down the towers. It's a pretty good comparison, to be fair. Most Voodoo games have the replayability of a single Mario Party minigame. This game is just a mess of art styles. The buildings are cel shaded and actually look okay, but then the environment is just this like flat plastic kind of thing, and then the cannon is weirdly realistic with lighting and reflections. It's just a mash of different assets they had lying around. That being said, it's okay. You shoot the towers down, you have to knock enough to clear the level. There's this like fireball you can shoot every few turns, and it was kind of fun. Decent game, just very messy and unpolished. B tier. This is the exact type of shit you see on TikTok. I don't know if it was Voodoo that started this trend of game. You know, the ones where you go along a path and you try to grow or shrink as much as you can. There's so many of them, but I've always associated them with Voodoo. Canvas Run is just that. You go through the doors that have the positives and avoid the negatives. There's no strategy, just go in the plus and avoid the minus. What's the point, man? Why am I even doing this? I got an ad for a game that I'm going to be playing later. That's fun. This game is #trending. Guys, everyone liked the video. Let's get it to #1 on YouTube trending. This was more ad than game. It wouldn't even let me play on airplane mode and showed me a 30-second unskippable ad after every level. It was torture. There is nothing redeeming about this one. It's gonna go in F tier. I physically can't think of a positive thing to say. Named after my favorite Minecraft parody, Castle Raid is a puzzle game, maybe. It's hard to tell. You just guide the little blue guys through the course by removing the grass. It's a lot like Where's My Water in the gameplay, except a lot worse and really ugly. Voodoo has this feature in most of the games that's pretty genius, honestly. Sometimes it's steps or a ladder or something, but at the end of the game, there's like this bonus part where all the extra things you've collected can give you a multiplier. Just small things like this can keep people playing. They want to see if they can get to the highest level of it. So even if the core gameplay isn't challenging or fun, it still offers some level of difficulty for the completionists. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but they basically have this in every single game, so it has to work. I really don't want these reviews to be like 10 seconds long, but some of these games have no substance. I can't think of anything to say about Castle Raid. The gameplay's fine, you know exactly what this is after seeing the minute of gameplay I'm showing you. It's D tier. I have a theory with this game. Chain 3 is a puzzle game. It's like one of those match 3 games, but I'm pretty certain this wasn't the intended idea. Just look at these assets. You got cell shaded chains, a watercolor background, and these huge icons. Usually puzzle games have a feel to them, and while the idea for this one is alright, you turn the chain instead of swapping pieces around, something feels really off. The clashing of art styles really gives me a like, hey, we've got this watercolor painted background, can we turn that into a game? Oh yeah, just use those leftover chain models we made. It just looks too nice for a puzzle game like this. Too much effort went into the visuals for this not to be a scrap project. That being said, I didn't hate it. It's a lot more interesting than the usual Connect games where you swap stuff around. The chains were a nice mechanic, the game had good animations, it was satisfying to clear a big line of them like this. I didn't mind it. C tier. That's the level I'm at with these Voodoo games. I didn't mind it, gets a C tier. I'm not sure why City Takeover needed 3 different teams working on it. Even compared to the other games, this one feels unfinished. The gameplay loop just isn't complete, if that makes sense. Can you even tell me what's going on in this gameplay? Yeah, I get you're meant to take over the city, it's in the name, but you just click on the building and then your guy will capture it. You always have more than the other people, so you just win every time. I just don't know. How does this get past the ideas phase? They still managed to shove a store with tons of offers and premium currencies into the game. Priorities, right guys? It's a very odd game, and it should have never got approved. It's gonna be F tier. I just really hate this one. Now, Cub Heroes. This is the best game so far. I really liked this one. It's an auto battler, somewhat like Bagfight that we played earlier, but this one just really hit for me. Each turn you play this claw machine, and whatever items you pick up, your guy will use them to fight. It's really simple, but I found it addictive. I ended up playing this one for like 20 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I'd already been playing Voodoo games for over an hour, so I was burnt out. It's proper simple like a mobile game should be, but I've always loved arcades and claw machines, so I definitely have a bias for this one. You can get upgrades as you go through the waves, and they add different items into the machine or change how they work. I really can't describe it, but it is good. I didn't even get an ad at all while playing. I'm not sure any game will top this one for me. It's not the deepest and most complex game ever, but it is simple and fun. Go give this one a try if you're into mobile games. I highly recommend it. Hopefully Voodoo continues to surprise me with the quality they're capable of. S tier, this is great. We're right back to the usual slop with this one. Coffee Pack is a sorting game. You put trays next to each other and then they fill up with the same colored cups. For every level I played, you had an unlimited amount of trays, so you don't really have any room to fail. Nothing to say, D tier. I can't really be bothered to do this one, so...
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Snow, and apparently I'm supposed to be playing this game for this guy named Tiki Man who sent me an email out of the blue asking to collab and told me to play this game. The crazy thing is he wants me to edit this part of the video as well. I don't even know this guy. I'm not even getting paid. So out of the kindness of my heart, I'm going to edit this however I want. But first off, the game he has me playing is called Archery Clash, but there is one problem. You see, my phone storage is pretty much full, and so I only have footage of the last few minutes of me playing this game, and that's why the first thing you see is me going against my opponent, Mr. P. Essentially, it's like Clash Royale, but instead of destroying towers, you have to try and convert the enemy's color into your color by dropping different troops. Honestly, it's a really unique concept, and I was still getting used to what each troop did, so Mr. P and I went into overtime, but I eventually was able to get the dub. There's an upgrade system where you can collect and unlock more troops to help you out, but there were definitely a good amount of ads in the game. But all in all, it's not a bad game. I'll give it like a B tier. It's not a game I would play every day, but maybe once in a while.
You got lucky with a decent game, actually. Should have given you Archery Clash or something. Anyway, thanks a lot for that. It was nice taking a break from Voodoo, even if just for a minute. Color Road was alright. It's not a very original idea, but there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to bother explaining the mechanics to you. I trust you're smart enough to figure it out. It's probably the most challenging game I've played so far, but that's in its nature as an endless game. I actually don't think we've had an endless game yet, unless there's one I don't remember. All of these Voodoo games kind of blend together in my memory, and I'm not going to bother checking. I never want to think about any of these games ever again, except Claw Heroes, my beloved. I'm actually a big fan of the visuals in this one. They were smart with the art style, just using shapes for the background, but it looks really good. Well done for the art director on this one, making good use out of limited resources. C tier. Yeah, I'm starting to think Claw Heroes and Bagfight weren't so original. This is another auto battler in that style, but much, much worse. So much worse. I would be lying if I said I understand Combo Clash. I get that this is the amount of rocks you throw, but what's with all these blocks? What's with the add button? Why are they all shaped and arranged like this? You can just merge them so you don't need all this space. Why is it $4.99 to remove ads? This is just a waste of resources for Voodoo to publish. You already have two similar-ish games that are so much better. So why another one that plays worse, looks worse? Frankly, it looks like utter shit. It's alright, it's better than some of the normal Voodoo stuff. I know they're the publisher, so not all games will have similar visuals, but this one just looks amateur and rushed. I know it's the art style choice, but it's clearly just cutting corners. E tier. No, you know what, fuck it, F tier. I had to double check Command and Defender was a Voodoo game, and yeah, it's right there, the Voodoo stamp of approval. This looks nothing like I've ever seen from them. It's a weirdly realistic military style game. It's so strange playing a Voodoo mobile game, and the core gameplay mechanic is, well, mowing down soldiers with a turret. It's a tower defense game, so it gets a free point for that, but it's very bare bones. It feels inspired by Pixel Junk Monsters. If you know that, you're a legend. The way you can only build on top of trees, and then there's a wheel for choosing towers. It might be a stretch, but that was the first thing that came to mind. And if you've played PvZ2, you know what I'm going to say about this feature, but a tower defense game that has upgrades like this just doesn't work. I lost the first level, granted I did just spam the cheapest tower, but still, I only had 2. Then when I lost, the store had a convenient bunch of upgrades and shop offers for me to make my tower stronger, with loot boxes and everything, all the works. Very PvZ2 coded. One word for this game, mid. C tier. I'm happy to play something different at least. It was a nice change of pace. I really don't care for sports. I know it's hard to believe from the guy playing every Voodoo mobile game, but they just don't do anything for me. So any kind of sports themed game just really puts me to sleep, and this sure is one of them. It's football or soccer for the uncultured. You swipe to score a goal and yeah, that's it. The best part of the game was when I got the option to watch an ad to continue. So I pressed no and it showed me an ad anyway. Well, what's the damn point? Why even pretend to give the player an option if you're going to give them an ad anyway? My hatred for football aside, Crazy Kick was just boring. F tier. Crowd City is another fake IO game, but I can see this one actually being really popular. This style of gameplay and visuals seems to work with a lot of people. You grow by running your crowd of guys into other people's. It's basically the same as Agario. If your crowd is bigger than others, you can take them over. I haven't played Agario in years, but what I remember is there was a decent amount of strategy to the game. Firstly, you didn't just have arrows pointing to every other player. You could sometimes run into bigger guys, and that was scary how the best player in the lobby can just appear. In this, you know exactly where everyone is all the time and their size, so you can just follow the arrow to a player smaller than you, kill them, and then go to the next. It removes all fun from the game as you never have to take a fight against someone bigger. There's no challenge. In Agario, you need to be smart to figure a way out to escape, but in this, you just win. It's really good that this isn't online. I can see this being a horrendous multiplayer experience. D tier. Cube Crusher 3D is kind of a puzzle game, but with some of that classic Voodoo shit mixed in. In all fairness, it's not the worst I've ever played. It's kind of like Tetris. You place these blocks in rows and they all have a number on them, and after your turn, they'll shoot all these little guys out to attack the top blocks, which fall at the end of your turn, and you lose if they hit yours. I'm under no impression that this is some genre-defining gameplay. It's probably copied from another mobile game I don't know, but it's a lot better than the last puzzle games. At least this isn't a Connect 3 game. It really feels like Voodoo, and I mean that in a good way. It's distinct, right. It's not great, and this banner ad was still annoying the entire game, but you could do a lot worse for a Voodoo title. The visuals are fine, I have nothing to say, there's no point speaking on them, but I do like how the yellow blocks look, I like their faces. It's a C tier. Cube Surfer is a TikTok game. This is exactly what Voodoo's known for. This game is horrendous. You just collect blocks to go over the red ones. It's not fun, it's not engaging, it's not good. Another one where you can't play with airplane mode on and they show you a ton of ads. It's nothing new for Voodoo, but I'm just lost for words on this one, so E tier, I guess. Cub Heroes is a funny one. This is so obviously a combination of two different projects they had lying around. You cannot tell me that somebody actually thought, yeah, let's combine an auto battler with a game where you pour balls from a cup. Firstly, it's an auto battler, but each turn you tip these balls out and use the ones you collect to buy upgrades. These auto battlers really rely on the bit of gameplay being engaging. That's why I liked Claw Heroes. That one was fun. It made up with the auto battler part having a good gameplay mechanic. But this is just bad. You're just playing a puzzle game while watching your guy fight. The two segments are fully different art styles as well, which is the biggest sign that this is just a repurpose of assets. The pixel art style doesn't even look bad, the sprites look okay, and the animations are decent. It's just ruined by the ball and cup game.
No! You will pay the price, skeleton. I'm coming.
I really want to put it in F tier, but when I look at the other games I've got there, it's ever so slightly better, E tier. In Destiny Run, you can either be an angel or a devil. It's kind of like a Telltale game. You can pick up Bibles or skulls. You're good if you pick up the Bible and bad if the skulls. So true. It sure is interesting. I don't know who thought of this idea, but outside of the concept being crazy, you just pick up the item corresponding to you and avoid the others. You have these doors you can pass through, like casino, because gambling is evil. I don't know, I'm not religious. Is that a real thing? Don't they like gambling? There's also a town builder where you can spend the currency, and it's just weird. It's a very odd game. It doesn't play well, but the idea is so funny to me, I'm gonna give it a B. Dig This 2 is a lot like Cut the Rope in its mechanics. You destroy the terrain to guide the green ball to the end. I really thought this one was going to be so much worse. It had some decent ideas. The gameplay's basic, but it had some nice mechanics, like rocks that block the end goal if they land on them, a bubble that makes you float for a different time, and coloured balls that go into the corresponding goals. None of it was amazing, but it's a simple puzzle game. I can only think that it would work so much better as a browser game than a mobile. I do need to address how ugly it is though. It's a shame because even if a game has really good mechanics and introduces a ton of depth later on, the visuals are what give you that first impression, and I didn't play for long because it's just hard to look at. It could be the best puzzle game mechanically, but you're never going to get that far if it's just not nice to play. I get it's cheap, but it really curbs the potential for a lot of these games. C tier still, I didn't mind it. This is a much worse puzzle game. What do you want from me? It's just a Connect 3 game. Doll Stack gets an E tier. I don't know, man, let's just move on. I'm about to put you guys on. Draft Showdown is a fucking banger of a game. No, like it actually is, I'm not joking. This is the most fun I've had so far. While some of the others might be better speaking, it's a strategy game like a tower defense. If you played something like Clash Mini or Merge Tactics mode in Clash Royale, it's a lot like those. Each turn you pick 2 cards to play on the board, with each round the loser getting an extra card, and then your units just fight it out. But it's the creativity and the art style that really make this game. I love Clash Royale, but a lot of the designs are so boring. Most of them are just variations of goblins or skeletons, but in Draft Showdown, the swarm unit is geese. You've got these cupid babies instead of archers, and then walking explosives. It's just oozing with charm, and the art style is so cute. It does have some of that usual Voodoo junk, like only playable online and a ton of in-app purchases, but that doesn't take away from the core gameplay. It's great. The units are so dumb. Just look at this guy. I really like B-Tank. It's an S tier, no doubt. This one's good. This game gave me an ad before the first level. That is insane, and I respect the hustle. Don't even give the player a chance to play your shit game, just throw an ad at them instantly. This is Draw Climber, another one I've seen before on TikTok. You draw wheels, arms, legs, I'm not sure what these are meant to be. You draw them and then you race a very real human person to the end. There's different terrain and obstacles that work better for different shapes, like long straight lines to climb stairs, but smaller circles to fit in gaps. It's alright, that's kind of the end of strategy in this game though. It has way more ads than the other games I've played. At the end of every level, I got showed an ad, and the stages are so short that these ads lasted longer than the gameplay. Since you're against a brain-dead AI, you just always win. I drew a knob and still managed to win. It's a D tier. Drawge Out is the one I had an ad for earlier, and of course the real thing looks nothing like the ad they showed, but the gameplay idea is the same. You draw a vehicle to fight against the red guy, with both of you just ramming into each other. The draw concept is cool, I like it the same as in Draw Climber, but it's just not utilized right, just like in that game. It doesn't matter what you draw at all, because basically only one thing works, and then this arena you fight in is so damn lazy, it's completely textureless with no color. You might try and say that's on purpose, it's an art style choice, but let's be serious, it's not, it's just cheap. With a lot of Voodoo games, you know ads will appear, mostly after levels, but in this one, they're kind of just surprising me. Getting one at the end of a level, sure, I expected that, but then when I tried to start the next level after that, about 10 seconds later, I got another one. It was way too much, I couldn't play this for more than a few minutes. The best part was Training Bot 3 building a cog. I was so tired, it actually made me laugh seeing this. Anyway, Dieter. Dune is easily the nicest looking Voodoo game, and it's one I actually played before. It's an endless game with the goal being to go as fast and far as you can. You can dive the ball into the ground and get loads of air if you go up these hills, and then if you stop moving, you lose. It's a classic endless formula, but it works well. That combined with a great visual style, the colors are so pleasing to look at. It could have been a good game, but something was really bugging me because I just don't remember the game having this many ads and a leaderboard when I played years ago. And checking some reviews, yeah, I can see that Voodoo's gone back and basically ruined this game. Every single attempt, you have to watch an ad. Tons of ads for doubling your score, revives, and upgrades, which never used to be in the game. And then there's a fake leaderboard with fake players that adds literally nothing except more pointless downtime. Like, I just wanted to play again after losing, but I had to watch a 30-second ad, skip through leaderboard screens, and decline watching optional ads. It's just annoying, I can't explain it any better. And this game should be quick and snappy. One button and you're back in. But there's more downtime between the game than actually playing. It's such a shame because it's really fun. I wanted to play more. Voodoo ruined this once good game. I'm putting in F-tier just for that. I don't know why they can't just leave their old games alone. Go ahead and pump out as many cash grab ad farms as you want, but don't ruin the good games. Dunk It sure is a mobile game. It sure has graphics and gameplay. This white box was very cool. I don't know what to say, it's a mobile game. Hey, well, if I've got your attention, I might as well plug myself. This video took a lot of time, like a lot. So if you like the video, please subscribe and leave a comment. It would really help me out. I'm only a small channel, so this was a massive undertaking for me, and I really appreciate your support. You can also join my Discord server. We talk about trending politics in there all the time. Oh yeah, Dunk It, whatever. Let me spin a wheel. C tier it is. Well done, Dunk It. You earned it. Dusk Wars was actually a game. Aside from the usual Voodoo garbage, I enjoyed this one a fair bit. It's a 2D platform shooter, kind of like COD Zombies. When you're in range of the red guys, the blue guy shoots. You can repair the barricades and get upgrades. It's a decent formula, but it doesn't follow a level structure like I expected. In fact, I'm really not sure how progression works in this game. It's my fault for not testing it, but after I lost, I stopped playing and assumed it's an endless game where you just start again, but I can't really confirm that. As you complete waves, new areas open up which you can tackle for better rewards. I did get 2 ads mid-game, and then when I tried to click no to an ad, it gave me one anyway. I got skill issued again. I need to stop falling for the no button, it clearly doesn't work. That being said, it's not too bad. C tier. Alright, now this game was fucking awful. The worst piece of shit I played so far, and it's not even close. There is not a single redeeming feature about epic playing. This is the gameplay. What you see right here, this is what I did for 5 minutes, with no change. It's an evolution style game where you fling the plane to fly as far as you can, but some genius at Voodoo decided to start you off without a plane. It's just like a cardboard stick that you eventually get wings for, but it took over 5 minutes to have enough gold for 1 wing. So basically just doing this over and over at a grueling pace. It is horrendous. This can't even be called a game. Better yet, they used AI for these upgrade icons because it wasn't bad enough. I wasn't sure if this counted as a game. For this video, I'm not covering apps that Voodoo released that aren't classed as games. They released a handful of different apps, and I was genuinely considering if this is a game or not. The definition of game is an entertaining activity or sport. This was neither entertaining nor an activity. You just do nothing. I'm gonna make a tier below F just for this game. It should not be allowed. How can a company release something like this?
Hello everyone, I am Dagger. I am a connoisseur, truly, of bad games. That's what I pride myself on. And I'm here to play a bad game for you. Not willingly, of course. I received an email from Tiki Man that has a picture of my actual house and my family, which is being held hostage. It's crazy how you're doing this to me. But my game to check out is called Fail Run, which, Jesus Christ, this is one of the most insane, like, Google Play Store pages I've ever seen. Like, I love how in the pictures we go from level 1 is just tap anywhere step. This makes sense to me. Level 9, leave the bathroom. What the correlation is, I don't know. So I'm guessing that this is just kind of a copy of Steppy Pants, which is, you know, it's to be expected. It's just kind of a cheap knockoff. But let's finally get in to Fail Run. So instantly, I gotta say, bad home screen, bad home screen. What the fuck is this white bar at the bottom of my screen? I feel like you could have done a little better, but I'm guessing, yeah, so you hold for, wow, that is clumsy. Oh, okay, so we've immediately figured out what the white bar is for. It is so that way they can make more money. Somehow that makes sense. So you get two attempts before they shove a playable ad down your throat. Maybe I'm actually being fleeced here, and this video isn't real. It's just an attempt from these companies to get me to play their games and watch more ads and make them money. Tiki Man's a shill, he's getting you. So I wonder how rigged this game is, in that I wonder if you are particularly cracked at fucking walking. What a strange thing to be good at. Jesus fucking Christ. Ugh. Okay, so let's think about this. You take too big of a step, you start stumbling forward. See, let me show you something. Let me show you something about walking. Okay, all right? Let's say my left leg is locked in place. I can take as big of a fucking step as I want, and you just lean forward. You just go with it. It's not hard, but my character, like, you just take a step and you just eat shit if it's too big. Like it's like an alien trying to figure out like how to walk. It's fucking awful. So all things said and done, yeah, this is horseshit, and I will never forgive you for making me play this.
Thanks a lot for that. That walking tutorial is going to be useful when I walk myself off a bridge after playing too many Voodoo games. Fight list is just weird. I'm more curious why Voodoo published this than anything. This is another one where I kind of regret covering it because I don't think it is a game. It's just a guessing type thing. You get a topic and then you have to list as many of them as you can. It's alright, you can't really mess up something like this. D tier. Flappy Dunk is just Flappy Bird, but with basketballs and hoops instead of birds and pipes. It's just a worse version of Flappy Bird in every single way. Do you guys remember when people were selling iPhones with Flappy Bird installed on eBay? Imagine your inheritance is just like an iPhone 5 with Flappy Bird on it. Oh yeah, the game, it's decent. It's not exactly original, but the gameplay loop was tolerable, I guess. Instead of losing when you touch the hoop like I thought initially, you lose if you miss one. It's a good mix-up on the standard formula though. C tier. Flip Dunk is a lot like Fail Run. I wouldn't be surprised if they were made by the same developer. This kind of game has been done 1,000 times, there's nothing special about it. You just have to dunk the ball in the hoop, but each level has a required amount of flips you need to do to pass. So you're forced to play kind of reckless, which does add a bit of challenge, but we don't care about the gameplay, we're all here for the sick drip you can buy. Hell yeah. Watching an ad just to reveal what a skin looks like, but still not being able to wear it is an interesting choice, I guess. I wonder if anyone's actually done this before. But hey, I didn't get forced ads the entire time, so if this is what we got to deal with so we don't get forced ads, that's a worthy sacrifice. Peter. Say it with me now. Flying arrow is bad. Yeah, it's pretty similar to Fail Plane from earlier. Not nearly as offensive, but it's still going to go in F tier. You guide the arrow to make it go as far as you can. There's different environments and stuff, but you'll never get to see them because it takes too long to upgrade your arrow. Was Fail Plane really that good that we had to go again with an arrow this time? Flying Cut is an icon of Voodoo games. It would go on the Mount Rushmore of like shitty Voodoo mobile games if there was one. So maybe it's going to be good. I'm excited to play it. Yeah, so for whatever reason, the game did not load. No matter how hard I tried, I restarted my emulator, uninstalled and reinstalled it, and even restarted my PC, but it didn't load unfortunately. So what I'm gonna do is pick one of the most popular reviews on the Play Store and give it a rating according to that. Kennedy Dyer, you're up. I do genuinely like and enjoy the game. However, the ads. OMG, the ads. There are way too many. Finish a level? Ad. Fall eye to the water? Ad. Ad in the bottom of the screen that turns down the volume of things I'm trying to listen to on my phone. Just a tip real quick as well. I don't if it works on all phones. For context, I have an S23. Whenever I exit out of the game and click back onto it, not using the 3-line thing or whatever it's called, the ads at the end of the levels ends. Wow, that was poetic. Thanks for that. 2 out of 5 is probably like a D tier, right? Let's go with that, I guess. Fort Guardian looks suspiciously similar to Bounce Defense from earlier. Must just be a coincidence though, I'm sure it's nothing. It's a tower defense game where each wave you get a choice of building to play on your grid. Some spawn units like archers or these melee guys. Others are your typical tower defense units like crossbows. It was alright. The art style's definitely inspired by Kingdom Rush. In fact, it kind of feels like a reskin of Bounce Defense, but without the bounce mechanic, so the only good thing about that game. It's an average tower defense. There's nothing to really stand out about it, but with its lack of ads and fairly nice visuals, it's in the upper levels of Voodoo. Beta, not bad. Gear Fight also didn't work. Okay, I'm really sorry. Just like the other game, I tried everything I could. I don't know why, I just don't know, but it wouldn't open no matter what I tried. So I'm gonna give it the same treatment as Flying Cut and read a review. This should be the last one that doesn't work. I don't think there's another one. Voodoo, fix your shit games. I've been playing this game for a while as a daily play for me, but they've recently made an update that changed all these designs to this awful childish cartoony look instead of the somewhat realistic look they had, and it's ruined the whole game. It no longer looks good. Also, once you've got far enough, the game stalls. You can't upgrade fast enough, and the green coins become useless as you've unlocked everything. I can't agree more. I want ultra realism in my Voodoo games. How else am I going to be immersed? In all seriousness, just from the loading screen, I can see what Ian's on about. It just looks like another one of those like auto battler games I've covered 5 of already. I don't think I'm missing much. It can have a seater. Golf Guys is another sports game, so I don't really care for it. Can golf really be classed as a sport anyway? I've probably done more moving while trying to write this script than you would playing golf. It's like a golf battle royale. Everyone plays at the same time, and it's not about the amount of strokes it takes, it's just about who finishes first. And I'm a professional at finishing first, so I destroyed everyone. Hi there, Rick, didn't stand a chance. Again, these aren't real people, it's all just bots, but it definitely wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It's a seater. Heisting was unironically a better game than Payday 3, but that's not saying much, is it? It's like a top-down strategy game, clearly inspired by the Payday franchise. And this is one of Voodoo's highest effort games so far, I'd like to say. Not only does the gameplay work, it is stolen right from another game, so yeah, but they did a good job at stealing it. It fits with the mobile playstyle much better this way. But the game also looks really nice. I love the thick outlines that all the player characters have, and the environments themselves. They may look out of place, the art style somewhat clashing with the people, but it's still nice to look at. It seems to have a decent amount of content as well, with each level being a different store you have to heist from, having to steal a certain number of valuables to move on to the next. Stuff like paintings, cash, jewelry and furniture, they're all up for grabs. So yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't play it for that long, why would I? I can just go to London and experience the same thing. But it's different to a lot of the other Voodoo games, so it was refreshing. Ater. Right, this isn't going to be fun. Looking at my list, we have 6 Hexagon games in a row. Can't wait. Hex Takeover is basically just a board game. You take turns placing a tile of your color, and each adjacent tile gets turned into your color as well. That's all to it. You can't mess up a game like this. But I have a lot less respect for a game like this compared to, I don't know, Destiny Run, because at least that had some unique ideas. They took a risk with that game, even though it was still terrible. It's better than this, playing it safe and doing literally nothing. You're just remaking a different game, except so much worse. F tier. Hex Defense is a tower defense game. There's another mobile game exactly like this, but I just can't remember the name for it. Let me know in the comments if you know the name. It's just your standard tower defense, low effort mobile game. Everything is made up of shapes, so the game has no charm and nothing unique about it. Like, why would you download this when games like Plants vs Zombies and Balloons are both free? It could be worse, but there's so many better options when it comes to tower defense, and it has nothing worth talking about. Other than the Uzi looking like a traffic light, that's odd. Sita. I'm going to cover these two at the same time. Hexacoin and Hexacoin Harmony are the exact same game. They're just a puzzle game where you stack 10 of the same colored coins on top of each other. I can't think of anything to say, so how did they make 2 full games of this idea? They look the same, they play the same, they're both going in Eater. Next up, we have Hexablast, and it's the exact same as Hexacoin and Hexacoin Harmony. God damn it, Voodoo, stop wasting my time. Why give this one a different title if it's the same game? You're not fooling anyone. Get an Eater. Maybe our final Hexagon game can be a bit different. All the others have been a rather letdown, and this one sure is different. Hex Warriors is nothing like those other games, and it is what I thought the Hex games were going to be, but different doesn't mean good in this instance. The first thing that caught my eye were the colors. This green is so saturated, it's horrible. You wouldn't be able to play this for long because the colors give you a headache. The gameplay itself is just another tower defense strategy thing. Imagine that Fort Guardian game from earlier, but now you're on this Hexagon board against another person. Instead of World War III, can we just settle it in a game of Hex Warriors? Dieter. Whole IO is one I wanted to talk about this entire video. I didn't play the games in any particular order, it was just whatever they were on the order of the App Store. So this ended up being the first game I played. It's one of Voodoo's most iconic games, getting a console release like some of the other popular ones, and it's one of the biggest wastes of potential I have seen in a mobile game. If you've never played it, imagine a combination of Agario and Katamari Damacy. You swallow up as many people, vehicles, buildings, basically anything found in a city, you can pull into the hole which then grows your size. By the end, you're eating full huge towers and houses with By the end, you're fully eating huge towers and houses with ease. It's really satisfying just how quick you grow and the amount of damage you can do to this city. But that's where the problem arises. For some godforsaken reason, the game is on a time limit, 3 minutes, and that completely ruins it. Because once you're big enough for the buildings, there's nothing else you can do. The game is only set to be 3 minutes long, and honestly, it usually takes less than 3 minutes to eat the buildings, and there's nothing else to do then. It is such a waste. I can imagine a game like this where it has a much longer time you can move around these environments, and instead of just being stuck in this generic city, you could go from forests to mountains to any kind of place, eating up chunks of earth and the environment. Whole IO just doesn't go far enough. It has one map and it's the same city every single time, and you can't grow past a certain point, so the replayability is just gone. You can't play for a better score because, well, there's only so many objects you can get, and it's pretty easy to get to that point. I hate how much Voodoo fumbled this game. It's still going to go in A because it has a fairly nice visuals, good sound, and a nice gameplay loop. Still has a lot of ads, but what do you expect from Voodoo? I'm noticing as I go on, these segments are getting way shorter. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you'll get the idea why after this one. Jump dunk is the same as flip dunk. Instead of flipping, you jump. Between every level, you get an ad, which lasts a lot longer than the gameplay. But I can't lie, the ad was more enjoyable than the game. After Knit and Loop is actually interesting to me because it's clearly a puzzle game, right? Like, it has all the gameplay additions of a puzzle game, but I don't think you can lose. I don't know, I just started spamming everything to clear levels as quick as I can, but I ended up just giving up before I could lose. It also has AI art used in the windscreen. You gotta love when a multi-billion-dollar company uses AI. Classic Voodoo, they're so quirky. I feel like it's gotta get an F tier, right? What's the point in a puzzle game if there's no way to lose it? F tier. Knock-'em-all is basically that Rabbids game from the Wii where you shoot plungers at Rabbids, except way worse. So you know what? I'm going to talk about that game instead. I know minigame collections get a bad rep, especially the Wii era where every company and shovelware dev was capitalizing on the Wii's success.
Cookie Mama 2. Let's cook with Mama again.
But the Rabbids games are so underrated, and they're often lumped into the same group as things like Carnival games or Mario and Sonic. It's just not fair to them. Rayman Raving Rabbids was one of my favorite games on the Wii. Yeah, it kind of was the downfall of Rayman, but ignoring his sacrifice, it's a really fun and charming title. The games are so fucking stupid. Like this one where you have to draw food for them, or as I said, the shooting segments that are set in real life. This game used to scare the shit out of me. It might be because I'm British and we hate dentists, but I don't know, something about his face just terrifies me. Minigame collections usually fail because they have no way to progress. You don't feel like you're going anywhere, but in this game, every stage you beat, you get a plunger which reaches you closer to the window to escape. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you're like trapped in a prison cell and made to fight for their entertainment. It's even visible how close you are when you're just walking around your cell. It's a nice visual indicator as how close you are to completing the game. If you've ever played it, you probably remember this guy. Absolute nightmare fuel. They made multiple sequels like the TV one and one where you time travel in a washing machine. Sure. But the one I remember is Raving Rabbids 2, which is where those shooter segments come from. It was a smart idea to set them in real life. Not only did it help the budget, which is probably not very high for this game, but it makes them so much more memorable. Next video is going to be on Rayman Raving Rabbids, I'm calling it. It won't. Anyway, Rabbids can go in S tier. I love this game. Oh shit, wait, wasn't there a Voodoo game or something I meant to review? Oh yeah, Knock-'em-all. D tier, whatever. What the hell is this shit? Just when I think Voodoo can't get any worse, they make this game. I'd rather play any of the usual Voodoo slop compared to Melt and Fill, because at least I understand what I'm doing in those. I'm just watching this popcorn machine. I get it's trying to be an idle game, I think, but it's an absolute mess to look at. What is the state of this game? It must have slipped through the cracks of Voodoo's very weak quality control. F tier. Another console release from Voodoo, Mob Control is a classic hyper-casual game. It's got the very simple art style with the standard gameplay formula you'd come to expect. You shoot the blue guys through the doors to defend against the reds. There's doors and pipes that add some variety, but what you see is what you get with this one. But that's a good thing, honestly. Surprisingly, I did like this one. It's one of the best looking titles so far. Nothing groundbreaking, but for a mobile game, it looks incredibly clean. I even had a boss level come up just a few stages in, so it was some nice and different style of levels. A tier, it doesn't have much to give, but it doesn't do anything wrong. Monster Survivor was a simple concept and perfectly executed. It's a top-down shoot-'em-up style game where all you do is try and survive as long as you can. You run around where your guy automatically shoots at everything near him, with you being able to get new weapons and gear after the waves to help you survive longer. This is what Voodoo needs to focus on more. For a company that says to have over 2,000 prototypes a year, why are so many of the games built upon such a poor gameplay idea? This isn't one of those though, thankfully. Wow, Voodoo, I'm pretty proud of you actually. That's 2 honest-to-God good games in a row. S tier. Mr. Cactus is just the original Bloons game, but worse. They couldn't even be bothered to change the targets, it's still just Bloons, which doesn't fit into the theme at all. But instead in this one, you're a cactus and not a monkey. The game doesn't even let you kill yourself. That was the only part I was looking forward to. End my suffering, please. D tier, it's just nothing. Neon Wings has the most unique art style so far. Just like the name, it's all neon looking, and it plays like one of those arcade classics. Something about this art style really did it for me. It just has a great look to it, especially on a small screen like a mobile phone. The colors are so vibrant, and the line art on the plane and the rest is just a fantastic choice. I'm not a fan when games slap big numbers on things like this. It's so much better to show gradual decay of objects when destroying them, rather than just having a number or a health bar. It works on enemies, but when it's like a rock, it's just a bit weird. I'm nitpicking though, you can ignore me. It's still great for a Voodoo game. A tier. Do people really enjoy fishing? To me, I can't think of anything worse. I like fish, I think they're cool, but fishing? Nah, nothing sounds more boring. That sure is fitting because net fishing was also very boring. You throw out the net to catch the fish. I don't know if I just fell off or something, but I suck at this one. I couldn't catch a fish for the life of me. E tier.
Hello everybody. As the resident mobile game ranker of YouTube, Tiki Man of course had to recruit me for ranking all his Voodoo games. Now, I'll be honest, I typically like playing good games, so I don't really know anything about these, but I've now played Paper.io too, and I'm basically an expert already. Your goal is to fill in as much of the space of each map as possible, and take out other players in the process. If you go outside of your color, you're at risk of being killed, and when you do kill someone, you get all of their land too. Each level is shaped like a different country, and believe it or not, I played for long enough to get to Canada too. The game looks and plays pretty good, I won't lie. The ads are really annoying as with all these games, but it's not a terrible game by any means. I don't know how Tiki Man is rating these things, but I'd have to imagine Paper.io is one of the better games here. Compared to any actual good mobile games, this is a C tier or D tier at best, but for Voodoo games, I think I'd give that an A tier. If you'd like to never see another Voodoo game ever again, I'd highly suggest you check out my channel, as I promise you I will never play schlock like this willingly for a video.
Pega IO. Now this is my type of game. I love pegging. This is another auto battler, but your guy shoots corresponding to how many pegs you knock out. Each peg adds 10 damage to your shot, and every turn the enemies move closer, so you have to be hitting enough pegs to kill them before they reach you. I did not care for this one. I like games like Peggle, but this doesn't do anything like that. Sure, it's a Plinko game, but it adds nothing. It's the bare minimum that it needs to be a Plinko game, and each level has no variation. It's just a new board layout, and they're all very basic. E tier. I like that they're trying a lot of different archetypes with auto battlers, but this one ain't it, chief. Oh god, Puff Up reminds me a lot of that TikTok game. It's not a bad game per se. It's a puzzle game where you inflate a balloon to be big enough to destroy the barrier, but if it's too big, it'll get popped by the spike balls. It's a decent idea for a game, it just doesn't push it far enough. Just like most Voodoo games. I think this formula doesn't have a lot of room for development, so it's kind of just a game you play for a few minutes and you've seen it all, but it's structured like something that would have hundreds of levels, which doesn't make sense to me. Having an ad in a mobile game can't be cheap, right? Why do these developers make the shittiest ads possible? Nobody's watching this and wanting to download your game. That's nothing to do with Puff Up, I just thought I'd say that as I've probably watched well over 200 ads so far. Most of them have been horrendous. Anyway, the game is D tier, it's alright. Rage Swarm is like a more complicated and in-depth version of Monster Survivor. It's the same gameplay, you move around while your guy automatically shoots at the nearest target, and as much as you might think this game would be just as good, or better, well, it's not. Yeah, this formula is much better suited for the graphical style and endless formula of Monster Survivor. While I really appreciate just how detailed and well made the environments are, with you traversing across them instead of this blank ruin like in Monster Survivor, the most important part, being the gameplay, just isn't as good. It was way easier and took a lot longer to get challenging. Unlike Monster Survivor, which ramped up fast, I still like this game. As I said, it looks nice and has a good formula, but it falls short compared to Monster Survivor, Beta. Roller Splat is another Voodoo copy of a popular puzzle game, which I just can't think of the name of right now. My brain has been completely rotted by playing this many Voodoo games, I just can't think of anything. But yeah, it's fine. It's one of those maze type games where you cover every square. You know what? Does anyone remember Block Saws? It was this shit back in school, playing it on Cool Math Games before the school blocked it on all the computers. Hey, maybe if this video does well, I'll play every classic game on Cool Math Games. Not like every game ever, because there's way too many, but all of the popular ones. Let me know if you want to see that. Roller Splat is D tier. Roof Rails is a TikTok game. God, I wonder how much money Voodoo's made from people playing the games for TikTok videos. First level in, I got a Temu ad.
The promotion is real. Where did you download Temu?
Does it matter?
It's important. If you want to get your gift, you have to click on this video now and download Temu.
Wow, I got it.
How much do you think they make per ad anyway? Like, I've got no clue what the ad revenue would be for a mobile game. Mobile companies always seem to be loaded, so they have to make a ton surely. In case you couldn't tell with how I'm avoiding talking about the game, I don't care for it. Eater. Salt and Pepper Don't Mix Them Up, that's the best name you could think of, really. It's a copy of that sugar game from Cool Math Games. You draw a path to lead the salt and pepper into the matching cups. You have a limited number of moves each turn, and yeah, I enjoyed it. But that's no credit to Voodoo, don't get me wrong. They fully stole this idea and just repackaged it as an ugly and much worse game, so they don't get any points. D-tier. Same Color had an interesting idea. You fling the ball to land on the board, and wherever it lands, it turns all of the connected balls into that color, with the goal to change the board to the same color, like in the name. While I liked the gameplay and thought it could be developed further, it's broken up by house building and decorating segments for some odd reason. You spend more time decorating this room than you do playing the actual game. Voodoo, guys, what are we doing here? Stick to one shit game, don't combine two. It doesn't make it twice as good. Eater. Sandblocks was Tetris with all the blocks made out of sand. Alright, maybe I'm missing something, but doesn't this completely defeat the point of Tetris? Because they all crumble when they land, you can't form layers and set up chains. Isn't that the entire point of Tetris? I don't know, I've never been a big Tetris guy though. It just felt so counterintuitive. I was just piling up sand without any thought or strategy. And it's sad because this art style is gorgeous. I love the colors and the pixel art used is so nice. It would have been much better as just a pure Tetris clone. Guys, you copy every other game, why not just make Tetris? What a shame. Dita. So 3D sucks. Who asked for a sewing game? Just go and sew if that's what you're into. More AI art? Great. F tier, fuck you, Voodoo. Shortcut Run is structured like other fake IO games. You pick up bricks to build a bridge across the path, and the first to the end wins. You know, the further I get, the more I'm questioning why I thought this was a good idea. Is any of this even interesting? I could have made like 10 other videos in the time it took to make this one, so hopefully someone out there enjoys this. Even the ads are getting worse. What the fuck does this even mean? Why is this Amazon ad in 144p? D-tier, man. This one is, you get to upgrade your gun by placing these blocks at the end of it, which increases the amount of shots it fires, then takes you into an FPS section where you fire a wave with the same gun. Honestly, not too bad. The game itself is horrendous looking and froze just 2 minutes in, but I think it was doing me a favor. It reminds me of House of the Dead, like an on-rails game where you shoot a gun in first person. Underrated game that. Did anyone else get really excited when you saw those like shooter games at the arcade? You know, the ones where you'd pick up a fake gun and you'd have to aim it at the screen? There was so much pressure in those because you have to like beg your parents for a quid to play it, and then you didn't want to lose right away because it felt like a waste of money. Shot factor Ceta. Slap and Run was so bad, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to write a review for it, so let's see what he says. Okay, here we go. When I first loaded up Slap and Run, I didn't realize I was about to drop into a solo queue of pure chaos and glory. This isn't just a mobile game. It's like catching a victory royale. My god, this is so long. Okay. It's like catching a victory royale in real life, except instead of building 90s and cranking edits, you're darting through the streets, handing out slaps that feel like legendary pickaxe swings. Voodoo really built this game like it's a mythic weapon chest drop. Simple on the outside, but once you crack it open, you realize it's packed with clutch potential. Every slap is like landing a pump shotgun headshot on Tilted Tower's rooftop. Satisfying, risky, and instantly iconic. I did not tell it to be positive, by the way, but it's not all easy dubs. Just like in Fortnite when you get third-partied by sweats out of nowhere, Slap and Run throws NPCs at you like storm circles closing in. You're always one wrong move away from getting clapped harder than a default dancing in front of a reboot van. Still, when you're in the zone, when you're dodging obstacles, timing your slaps, and sprinting like you've just picked up a launch pad, it feels emotional. It feels like that first time you touched down at Loot Lake, or when you heard the OG Battle Bus horn. It's not just gameplay, it's nostalgia, it's hype. It's pure voodoo magic. Slap and Run isn't just a game, it's a victory royale for the soul. I don't think it knows what Slap and Run is. Anyway, I need a rating. Easy dub. I'm dropping a solid S tier on Slap and Run. You know what? Yeah, sure, it can have S tier. I trust ChatGPT. I played Slice and All for 1.5 minutes, 70 seconds of which was ads. That's enough said, right? F tier. Slinky Jam is a puzzle game where you have to untangle the slinkies from the board. It was very easy and very bland. There's a billion other puzzle games just like this one. If you want more details, go and play it yourself. D-tier. So many D-tiers. Snake vs. Blocks is one of the oldest Voodoo games. It's another one I've played before, but you grow your snake by picking up more segments and have to get to the end by destroying blocks, with you wanting to target the lower number as each number takes up a segment of the body. It's very rough even for Voodoo, amateur looking even, but it is one of their first titles. With as many things as Voodoo gets wrong, I can only praise just how many games they put out and how they evolve. Like yeah, most of the stuff sucks, but you can really see the difference between this and their newer stuff, when they put in effort at least. The worst part of this game is the colors. The background stage changes each level and it turned into this like harsh, blinding red color. It was tough to look at. C-tier. Sniper Siege has an AI loading screen. Great first impression. I don't know why, but it's a really popular trend for mobile games. They love these like FPS sniper titles, but I've never been a fan of them. It's such a weird fit for Voodoo. Like stick to your family-friendly puzzle shit instead of military sniper games. And it's weirdly gruesome, with the heads exploding when you hit them. So to all the parents out there, maybe keep your kids away from this one and something more wholesome, like Command and Defend. D-tier. Oh no, it's Melt and Fill again. Why do they struggle so hard to make a decent UI? It's so cluttered and messy. How can you make so many games but still can't get the basics right? It's another idle game. Spin and Slice gets an E tier. It looks slightly better than Melt and Fill. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about the game. I'm just going to give Spiral a D tier and move on because I really want to show you this ad. This is the 4th version of Hexacoin, but under a different name. So you know what? I'm going to give a hot take on something I've been seeing a lot recently. If you made it this far, go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong down below. I think Hollow Knight is bad. All I've been seeing recently is people praising and hyping up Silksong, and it's been annoying because I found Hollow Knight to be so boring. It's glazed by basically everyone online, claiming it's the best indie game ever, or one of the best games of all time in some cases. And yeah, if you love doing the most basic 2D platforming around this dark cave for 30 hours, you might love it. But to me, no. And if Silksong is just the same thing again, I can't see why people are getting this excited. I know I'm in the minority here, it's a universally beloved game, but I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Stack Attack is just reused assets from Hex Defense, and I respect it honestly. Like, why not just repurpose all those shapes into another game? They're so basic, you can use them for pretty much anything. I'm not sure what came first, but I'm guessing it was Hex Defense because Stack Attack seemed a lot less polished. It's like a shooter game. It was pretty hard to be fair, with the shapes quickly overwhelming you and making it hard to pass. Beta. We're nearing the end now, actually. Only 14 games left, and the more I play, it's easy to see that Voodoo struggles when it comes to backgrounds. Sometimes they'll use shapes or buildings, other times it's just empty. It really makes the titles feel unfinished when they leave it like this. Just some blurred JPEG at least would add so much to the game. Stack Color gets an E tier, nothing to say about the gameplay. Stack Jump, different to Stack Color, is an endless game where you have to jump up the tower as high as you can. It's really basic, but for what it is, it's done well. I feel like I've been putting way too many into the low tiers, but I'm trying to be honest here. Just know that it's all my opinion, so if you disagree with my Voodoo game tier list, go ahead and make your own. I'm going to upload this template to Tier List Maker, so tweet it at me if you want. But yeah, Stack Jump, I like this little guy, he's cool. Beta. Alright, I'm going to cover 2 games at the same time. Take Your Line and Tetra Bus. They're both just mobile versions of board games, so it's hard to cover them for long. Grouping them together makes more sense to me. One is just dots and boxes. The other is, I want to say Rush Hour is the name of the original. I vaguely remember the little colored card pieces. Voodoo really likes turning classic board games into mobile titles. It's smart because it cuts out that full idea phase, which is really the longest part of game making. And people won't care if you copy a board game. It doesn't really seem like stealing at that point, but it just makes this whole thing feel very lazy, because it probably is. I'll give you Take Your Line a C tier and Tetra Bus a D tier. I like dots and boxes more. This is Blast as Voodoo's attempt to make one of those puzzle games seem more in-depth than it is. You click the colored boxes and it destroys all the same colors on the board, but they gave them these shooting animations and numbers as if that changes anything. They're just trying to cover up that this is a reskin of all their other games. Adding a level of animation into the sequence doesn't make it better, it just makes it slower. E tier. Throw blocks is, it's the same as Hexacoin again. Guys, the idea was not that good. You can stop making the same game now, please. This one's going in F tier. The first 4 times, I can stomach it, but this is too much. It's been a while since I went into detail on a real game, so finally, Tiny Defense is a strategy tower defense game, similar to the one with the ugly hexagons, but this one is way better. You play on this map, which actually looks nice, I have to say. You build towers and troops on your side, and they continuously go to your opponent's side to attack them. So you have to build as many towers as fast as you can to overwhelm them. Unfortunately, it is just Clash Royale, but on a big island instead of a small arena, which does make the game a lot less strategic, as the pathing seems kind of random with the units, and you have no idea what any of the cards do. The game doesn't tell you, but I'm happy it's not a Connect game or a board game. It's mid, beta. Let's go Voodoo. Now this is what I wanted. You know, when I thought of this video in my head, this was what Voodoo made to me. Stupid, nonsensical games like this one. So it seemed like a good idea, but no, most of them are just shitty puzzle games. I wanted to cover more games like this because, well, look at it, it's just dumb. In Tower Run, you have to jump on people's heads to get as high as you can. That's it. The gameplay is just nothing, but I love how it looks. I know I said it earlier, but the art style reminds me a lot of Katamari Damacy. The blocky and stiff human models, I really like it. It's clearly an art style choice rather than cutting corners, because they could have quite easily used their like generic red and blue guys for this game. B tier again. Trample is Flip Dunk again. Eater. Just so you all know, as of making this video, I'm not even monetized. Bro's just doing it for the love of the game. Twin Tennis is the same as tennis from Wii Sports. It's getting A tier. I really like this one. Yeah, it's just a copy, but using the tennis segment from Wii Sports as a mobile game is genuinely a good idea. It doesn't feel so much like copying when it's from a small part of a game. You control both people on your side who automatically run from side to side after the ball. You just have to swipe to swing the racket. And surprisingly, it wasn't easy. I thought that the bots were just going to miss the ball constantly, so you just get free wins. But they didn't. We had some good rallies going. See, I know the word rally. I'm a tennis professional, clearly. Do you guys remember Wii Sports Club? When Nintendo tried to charge you a subscription service to play Wii Sports in HD. You could also buy each sport individually. I swear they were like a tenner each as well. Very cool, Nintendo. Nice to know you haven't changed. In Wacky Run, you race to the end as a suspicious shaped thing, while avoiding knives and obstacles, with them not killing you, but cutting you in half, which it then takes time for you to regenerate, so it's Sausage Run. Yep, Voodoo is so shameless, at least change the character. It being a sausage doesn't even make any sense in this context. In Sausage Run, you were like in a kitchen, but in this, it's just like the usual Voodoo void. Eater. This loading screen is so tough. Another top-down shooter. How can Voodoo go from making something like Wacky Run into this? Its visuals are night and day. This looks so good. It's colorful, clean, the environments are detailed and pop out. Voodoo could honestly be a decent developer and publisher if they just took more time and control over the projects. You make your way through the building, exploring the rooms and getting upgrades like a roguelike. I always thought roguelikes were a good fit for mobile. Voodoo knows this, so they make a lot of them, and when done right, they're really good games. A tier. The name Walker Attack is a bit derivative, but I'll let it slide. The only idle games I can tolerate are Roblox Tycoons. Those fuck. But this, no. Water Power is an idle game, and it looks nicer than the last few idle games. I'll just never be able to forget Melt and Fill. I can see this being good if you like idle games. They're just not my thing really, so I didn't care for it. But it's night and day compared to Melt and Fill. That should be a crime against humanity. Water Power can get a C tier. What was interesting was the confirmed purchase for the in-game currency was automatically turned off. Convenient that is. You never failed to disappoint me, Voodoo. If you want to see me play more idle games, I did a Roblox video where I played a few. Go check it out. Wood turning, let's go. I was waiting for this one. Now all we need is like a Reddit ITA post playing in the background, and we've got a hit short form. In wood turning, you cut and carve out shapes using a variety of tools. It's meant to be a kind of satisfying and chill game, and yeah, I can see that. Now take a look at this. I was really proud of this one. I mean, could you really play this game without doing this? I feel like it's unnecessary. Wood turning gets an A tier. It was pretty decent. Oh, and that's it. When I wrote all of that, I didn't even know it was the last game. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, it isn't the last game. There's a few more Voodoo games that I haven't played. And I know a lot of you are gonna say, oh, you missed this one, you missed this one. But I downloaded literally everything that was up to date on the App Store. So there's not really much else I can do. Unless I was to like downpatch my emulator or go on a lower version of Android, it's not really gonna change anything. These are all the Voodoo games that are currently supported as of September 2025. So if you're watching this in the future, or in the past, I guess, it might be different for you, but this is all I could get. I want to give a huge thanks to Snow, Dagger, Jake Miller, and Dana Raid for their part in this. Sorry I had to subject you all to Voodoo slop, it was for a good cause. I'll leave all their channel links in the description. Go check them out, they make great content. There's not really a summary to this video. We all knew the games were gonna be bad. I was under no assumption that this would be fun, but hey, someone had to do it. If you've made it to the end, thanks so much for your support. It means everything to me. If you want to send me a message, you can do that. My Discord and socials are linked below, so hit me up if you want. But I think I'm gonna need to rest for a while after this. I can't lie, this has taken a toll on me. Playing all these Voodoo games was actually draining, so I'll probably be back with a shorter video in a week or two. But I've got a lot more content, so go and check it out. Cheers, guys.